Hello, Aries, and a very warm welcome to your 21-22 forecast. Another powerful year coming up. 2020 was sure the most significant year. Everything changed. Your values changed. Chances are your priorities have changed. And many of you may have gone through a lot of crisis and stress through this time, even if it might not have been necessarily your personal stress, the stress that we've all been feeling with these massive transformations taking place on the planet. So how's it all going to affect you? Well, Aries, you'll be pleased to hear that on the 7th of January, Mars finally comes out of your sign and goes into your second house of money and finance, resonating there with Uranus until the first week in March. So your year starts off with you getting a boost in your financial area. So it might be you really taking action in this area. You might be starting your own business. You might be developing your own consultancy. You might be working on different projects, but with Mars there, this is where to put your energy, especially at the beginning of the year. The second house rules your talents, your gifts. So what would you like to develop this year? What are the talents? What are your New Year's resolutions of the creative things that you'd really like to work upon? You'd like to study, you'd like to fine tune, you'd like to just put time into. This is that Mars in your second house. And you could certainly get a boost to your finances with that Mars energy as well. Now, the biggest and perhaps most important aspect that is going to be with us pretty much for the whole year, from February till July, very strong, easing off a little bit around August, September, October, and then as we move towards the end of the year, it starts to come together again. And that is this square between Uranus here in your second house and Saturn here in your 11th house. So on a wider perspective, Uranus and Saturn square in fixed signs, Taurus and Aquarius we're dealing with. This is going to bring up a lot of issues to do with freedom, to do with authority, rules, structures, and breaking through to new ways of learning how to deal with new structures, because we're going to get new structures. Governments are going to keep changing the law. They're going to keep changing the parameters for us. And how are you going to respond to those changes? Inside yourself, you're dealing with a tremendous need for freedom. Uranus in Taurus is breaking up all your old ways of doing things. And especially with it being here in your second house, it's to do with your values. It's a shake-up of what used to be important to you may no longer be important to you. You might have valued sexuality and lots and lots of money or lots of different relationships. You may have had different values. And now you may find that your values are really shaken up. And now it's time, with those new values that are developing in you, what are the things that you want to develop inside you that are unique to you? And what are the things that you want to contribute, 11th house, to the world? Maybe you'd like to start a YouTube channel, a blog, a podcast. Maybe you'd like to be interviewed or interview others. Start that online business. Connect with communities, groups, your tribe. But one way or another, your values have been shaken up, and now it's time to put a new structure around you that works with your new values. You might have found that, hey, family and loved ones are more important than anything. Perhaps I'll go and live near them. You might have found that that's not so important and you want to live further away from them. You might find that you really want to move home and move country. How can you put that into action and into place? So this energy is very much about stretching beyond your limitations. It's an opportunity to, certainly with Jupiter and Saturn in this 11th house for you. Jupiter will be there until May. An opportunity to expand your social circle. And you might say, hey, look, I've been in lockdown, or it's difficult at the moment. And I'll say you can still do it online. You can still find like-minded people. You can still focus your energy upon creating a community and joining a community. That may well be a focus for you during this year. And you may create a whole new set of friends, people that you want to be with, different kinds of people. Breaking out, mixing with people you wouldn't normally mix with, and finding, hey, there's such a richness here. So on May the 15th, we've got Jupiter coming into your 12th house, joining Neptune here. So this is a wonderful time for exploring your spiritual journey further. Jupiter in the 12th is often a very fortunate aspect. Brings you fortune, shall we say, from unseen forces. You may find that your meditation practice, your yoga practice, whatever it is, you may find that it deepens at this time. You may find that you get lots of downloads and revelations about channeling and ETs and journaling and anything mystical and magical. And it's going to then go backwards, Jupiter, from July the 28th back into your 11th house again. So this may bring you back in touch with people that you once knew. Or maybe you start something with a community and maybe it just fizzles a little and then it comes back again and you meet different people and somehow the pieces begin to come together a little more. Because many more of us are going to be looking for community. A life where we feel supported, encouraged, loved, appreciated. And that's going to be until the end of the year. Not until next year does it move. Until the very, very end of this year, it moves into your 12th again. So on May the 29th, we've got a lunar eclipse happening here in your 9th house. And the eclipses are May, June time and November, December time, excuse me. And the 9th house eclipse has to do again with your spiritual journey, revelations, seeing something you hadn't seen before, aha moments, and also possibly an opportunity to travel. Now, you might be traveling physically, quite possible. You may also be traveling through time, traveling in a different way, having a new relationship to time and space in your world. And on June the 10th, we've got a solar eclipse happening here in your 3rd house. 3rd and 9th, this has to do with learning. This is going to trigger a desire to learn, to study, to share information, to communicate. You might write that book finally, that memoir. You might start an online class. You might join an online class or a workshop. And it's wonderful for new developments with your mind and your consciousness. On November the 19th, we've got a lunar eclipse happening here in your, it's all a bit precarious here, but I've got the board. I'm not holding it, as you can see. Many of you have told me what to do, and I've listened to you. And we've got a lunar eclipse happening in your 2nd house. And on December the 4th, we've got a solar eclipse happening up here in the 9th. So we've had the lunar eclipse in the middle of the year, shining a light on the spiritual journey further, maybe having you traveling physically. And then at the end of the year, woo, a solar eclipse. And this really could trigger some new beginnings. Meeting somebody from overseas, maybe a romance from overseas, connecting with a community overseas, going overseas to be in a community. And here, this second house eclipse on November the 19th. And I will have these aspects at the end of the video with all the dates on, so that you'll be able to refer to the dates I'm mentioning. And then this eclipse here in the second house, just shining a light and saying, hey, are you developing enough of your skills, your talents, your abilities? What more can you do to come out, to shine that beautiful Aries light? Now this year, all the Mercury retrogrades are going to be in air signs. The air signs, of course, resonate beautifully with you, Aries, as a fire sign. So it's going to be an opportunity to really develop your communication skills, your listening skills, your speaking skills. And with most of the planets here on this side of the chart, Aries, it's a year for taking the initiative, not allowing yourself to be too influenced by others, but you saying, hey, I'm going. This is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to lead. I'm going to be a warrior. And I'm going to show the way and light the way for other people through some of these challenging times. So I wish you a wonderful year. I want to thank so many of you who contribute on Patreon to support this channel, for liking, commenting, subbing, sharing. Thank you. Bye for now.